just, a little, you know, going back, he had already presented.
That's the official going back signal, by the way.
Yes. Okay. Peace and blessings, beloved kindred, and welcome to our channel. I'm Leanne.
And I'm Ijlal. The question that we're going to be answering today is, how did we choose our location? How did we end up with Rwanda as the place to go?
Yes. So, just, a little, going back, he had already presented.
That's the official going back signal, by the way.
Yes. He presented the idea of moving to Rwanda to me. That was the first country we talked about. And he had many reasons why he wanted to move to Rwanda. And they were all wonderful, wonderful reasons after we did a lot of research. I don't know what happened. And we decided maybe this is not a good idea. Just randomly during our research, we were like, maybe not Rwanda. But our hearts were calling to move to Africa regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to move or find a home on the continent. But we still had our, I guess, reservations, honestly, about the continent in itself.
Right.
There were a lot of things going on, a lot of things in the news. And, we were just like, man, our people they can't get it together. And that was essentially one of the biggest things for us. We were just like, we really, really, really need you guys to get it together. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of said to ourselves, maybe Africa's not ready. Maybe it's not. And to be honest, I think that was just our colonized mind.
Yep.
Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.
It was our conditioning.
Yeah, it was just our conditioning.
Our American conditioning.
Right. Because here we are. But we had to take a ton of steps to get here. It was like a full on circle. We were just researching all these different countries. I mean, tons of countries. And then finally we said, okay, we're going to make a list. We're going to make a list of our top 5, what we really, really want and what we need the country we want to move to have. So we listed out our top 5, and that's when we were like, okay, fine. Now we have what is that called again? Mind going blank. It's late.
What?
Like a blueprint.
Oh.
Okay, I guess.
Blueprint. Back up. Blueprint.
The present.
We had something.
We're giving you, sign language here. Unofficial.
I want everybody to know that it's what time is it? Almost 11:30, okay, at night. I am exhausted. I am tired. My brain is way over there somewhere.
That's not the reason.
Okay.
This is what it is. This is straight up what it is. Anyway.
Moving
on. They're used to you by now.
Anyway, I am exhausted. But we had something to really map out where we wanted to go. And so we took that list, and even though we still researched a lot of countries, we needed to make sure that they had these specific things, so we can at least say, okay, you're good, no, you're out, and then we can kind of condense our really long list of countries, because it was a long list. um so, and he's going to tell you our top 5, so I can stop talking 'cause I'm tired.
So our top 5 list was trying to remember it. First, we were, safety was obviously a major concern because
That was the
we
priority.
have children.
Yeah, top
Um,
priority.
Safety,
Hmm.
because we have children. It's not just us two. Cleanliness, making sure that you're going into cleanliness anyway.
Hmm.
Third, we want to make sure it had a simplistic or easy enough visa process.
Hmm.
Um, Homeschooling, it allowed you to homeschool,
Right.
because a lot of countries don't allow you to homeschool.
Yes.
And the fifth one was, what was the fifth one?
Cost of living.
Cost of living, right?
Yeah.
Very important. Obviously,
Yes.
we knew we were coming here with our life savings, and it wasn't like our life saving was, racks on racks on racks. So we had to make sure that wherever we went, the American dollar would,
Stretch.
stretch pretty well.
Right.
Um, our thinking was, where can we be where we can be there for at least a year
Hmm.
and live, you know,
Get everything together.
comfortably,
Yeah.
not live there for at least a year, but be in the slum, but at the same time, not acting like, we have a lot of money. So, um, those were the 5 important things.
Hmm.
Um, Now, like my baby said, there was, I was looking at Rhonda, but there was something in the when we were doing the research, we found out that Rhonda was currently trying in peace treaties with something as it relates to Congo. I can't remember exactly what it was, uh, but something as it related to Congo. And by the way, it is news now that they were able to uh, come to terms, so that's no longer an issue. But I remember at the time when looking at that, I was just like, see, you never know what's going to pop off, and then there's to be some little village insurgents, things just happening in Africa, blah, 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 blah. So basically, we allowed like we said, the American conditioning to creep into our heads, which the American conditioning consisting of America making its citizens think that you can't go anyplace else in the world and live a good life, and then also always depicting Africa in a horrible, crazy third world. There's just nothing but war and poverty happening there
Hmm.
place. So it played a effect on us, and we kind of just said, you know what, maybe Africa's not ready. So then we moved on. We With that list, we looked at a lot of places, but to not go over every single one, I'll kind of just scale it down to what we were really
Maybe like
seriously.
areas.
Yeah.
So we looked in South America. We looked
Hmm.
there were a few countries we looked there. Um I think what one of them we were pretty set on for a little minute, and then we were like, but the visa process, it doesn't give you, enough time to, I guess, really, get your stuff together, and make sure that you'll have, a good safety net and your finances will be okay. Um, then we looked in the Caribbean,
Hmm.
and it was pretty much the same thing as South America. Also, I think they didn't allow you to homeschool, but we were like, okay, but their school system, their education system also wasn't that great. So because they didn't allow you to homeschool, and then you also have like, a struggling education system. We were like,
Public
public
education system.
education system. We were like, mm, maybe not, because at the time it's like, we're still trying to, you know plant our seeds and, solidify our, everything that's happening, and making sure that our finances are good. And so we couldn't really pay for private school at the time. So we were like, okay, that's out. Then we started to look into like Asian countries to see what areas of those countries that we could really possibly say, okay, this would be a good country for our family. Um, and one of the countries that we really, really, really were like, oh, wow, this one is a great country. I think everybody knows this: Japan. So we started doing heavy, heavy research on Japan. Um, Japan checked off all our lists at the time.
At the time.
The only thing we were like, oh, they don't allow you to homeschool, and they don't. You have to, everybody, all the kids have to go to school up until like, I believe like middle school or something like that. And if you choose to go to high school, you can. But from like age 6 up until, I think, what was it, 14?
Something like that, 13,
Yeah,
14.
13, 14.
Like 8th grade
Yeah,
age in the U.S.
Then, you had to go to school. And that was, we were a little sketchy about that, specifically because we do have a child that is special needs.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that we were like, okay, how do we navigate that? What is that going to look like for him, for our family? How are we going to deal with certain things? Do they have a substantial program for him, and children like him? So,
but I mean, we were still very much liking Japan
we were very much liking it. Yeah.
Because it's by and large, many whatever stats you're looking at, you're going to find that Japan, if it's not the number one, it's definitely number two safest country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That was extremely important to us, once again, because of the children.
Mm-hmm.
That moving to another country, and then obviously, there's a lot of things you got to get used to. Did you get it, baby?
Did we get that son, bitch?
No.
No? Okay. Side note, we're always on the mosquito offense here. And she's become like a freaking black belt, 5th degree in mosquito catching. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, so the safety being very important. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm sorry. The cultural, there's going to be a big cultural difference. There's going to be a lot of things that we're not used to, different customs, and navigating that. We didn't want safety to also be a concern. We wanted to be just no concern at all while we're trying to figure out, this new place that we're in. So no concern at all. But I mean, you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, safety it makes me feel a whole lot better knowing that I don't have to worry about the silliness that we have to worry about in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm trying to navigate this new area, especially with my family. They're all counting on me, on us, to put them in a situation where they don't have to worry about those type of things. So it was just really standing out to us. We actually started to learn Japanese.
We did.
We were teaching it to the children.
Yeah.
We
were definitely preparing for a life in Japan.
Right.
We had a business plan all written out, a really dope one, by the way.
It really did. A life in Nihon.
Yeah, in Nihon. Yes. I think we started really, really going in depth and looking at the visa process.
Right.
So, um, when you're researching and oh my gosh, going to another country, you have to. Where is it?
Oh my goodness. Don't worry about it.
No,
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not worried about you.
I'm worried about it.
Okay, come on.
When you start to learn about moving abroad, you learn about all the different visa processes, and you also learn about all the documentation that's needed.
It's needed.
And depending on the country. So say for example, Japan, you might need certain types of documentation. Um, Also, if the country is a solely Japanese, like so say their native language is Japanese, all that documentation has to be translated into their language.
Into Japanese.
Right. And then you have to pay
Nihonjin.
Right. And you have to pay for a translator. And there are some countries that are a little bit more, I wouldn't say lenient, but their visa process is a little bit more easier. And once you start seeing that whole process, then there's also money involved.
Right.
So, and it becomes like a good amount of money depending on, what's happening and depending on the processes, because everybody in your family needs the paperwork, not just, one document. No, everybody needs their like everybody.
Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever.
So, we had to reevaluate if this was the best place for us, considering that, then also considering our son, and just,
And then also with the visa process, we weren't coming out. We knew we weren't going to a place where we were going to be employed,
yes,
and sponsored by someone. So we knew that we would have to start a business.
yes,
And in Japan, Nihon, when you apply for the business visa, and inshallah, Lord willing, if you get approved, I think it's either 3 or 6 months. They're checking in to see if you've turned any revenue,
yeah,
to make sure that the business is actually making money. You actually have to make sure that you have enough funds to take care of yourself, your family, and your business for at least a year or something like
X
that.
amount of time.
So you start to roll back, the layers of what is required, and then you're like, ooh.
I don't think it wasn't necessarily what we needed to take care of our family. It was more or less like, if your business is not turning over revenue, then within a couple of months, then you got to bounce. You know what I'm saying? So it was more or less like, okay, a lot of businesses don't even do well the first year. A lot of businesses struggle. Some of them even for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? They're making little pennies here and there.
Right.
Inshallah, that's not going to be our business. But it's like, okay, so I go there and I'm trying to get things off the ground, and all of a sudden, I gotta leave because.
I mean, you prepare for certain things, but at the same time, I don't want to feel pressured that, oh snap, if something doesn't actually turn over within the specific amount of time given that that we were expecting, then now we got to be looking at, we got to go. So that slowly started to weigh on our minds, and then something.
And they also, I don't think in Japan, at least when we were doing our research, you had to have a brick and mortar or some type of physical place to do your business. So you couldn't do things online. It had to be like a physical building. Do you remember that when we were researching?
Vaguely, yeah. A little
and
bit,
it was like, okay, nobody has enough money to go and do rent at a building, rent here.
Well, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. Yes, and
that was becoming a major concern. But then something else
Mhm.
we started to think about.
Yes. A
You
really
know,
big thing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, like we've discussed before. I mean, in case you guys didn't know, we're black.
Right.
Because you're black. You are. He is.
So, don't tell nobody. So, and we have black children, obviously. So it we was just like, it really means something to us. I mean, even though we were going to take that dive, and like, I know the population of black people in Japan is very small. But we were like, oh, don't worry
They're
about it.
there,
They're
but it's
there. No matter where
small.
you go, we're small or big, we're everywhere. Blah blah
Yeah. And there's
blah.
definitely
We were
struggle.
willing to
Yeah.
make concession, but alhamdulillah, the praises on Allah's. You know, we did run into that visa issue, and then we started thinking about other things. Long story short, it started to mean more and more to us to make sure that our children see children who look like them, see adults who
People.
look like them.
Yeah, just
Wherever they
people.
go, they see more and more people who look like them. And also because you're seeing more people who look like them, you run into less problems be, um, being treated lesser than by other people who don't look like you.
Right.
So the more that became a bigger concern for us, it tilted our direction back to, okay, Africa is a humongous continent. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what? Let's just see. Maybe let's remember propaganda and how it forces us to think, don't do Africa. And then we also started to realize and see that even though every 2 seconds, someone is telling you, oh, what Africa? What? They got this over there. Oh, that's blah 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 blah. You find that the same people who are really pushing you to not go to Africa be the same people who definitely are going.
Yeah.
They just don't want you to
They don't
go
want you there.
for reasons that we don't have time for in this video to go into. So once we basically, deprogrammed ourselves and said, you know what, we can find a place to live in Africa that is decent, and then we can be
That
safe
checks all
there.
the boxes.
That checks all the boxes.
Yes.
We initially, so when we went back into it, Ghana was where it was going to be for us. In particular, Accra. I
Yeah.
think I'm saying that right. Accra, Ghana. They have a very huge Muslim population over there.
Right.
Obviously,
I believe like West Africa has a lot of a really, really large Muslim population. Definitely, there's still a lot of Muslims over here, and
oh
there's
yeah, in the East, but
a
yeah.
large Muslim population here too. But I
So
think, yeah,
so yeah, it was we looked there, and then also at the time, Ghana was doing a comeback diaspora like promotion type of thing.
yeah,
Stating that come, you'll get citizenship, and so on and so forth, and that was extremely appealing.
yes, it was.
But we found out
That wasn't necessarily the case.
wasn't necessarily the case.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in there.
That. Yeah.
Their visa process was really stringent, and it was just really stringent.
Yeah.
And so then once we knew we were definitely wanted Africa, then we started paying more attention to, okay, you know what? We need to go to a place that we got to be able to start a business, and we need time.
Yeah.
Okay. It would be great if we could just say business is here and then money, but that's not the reality. So,
Inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. But even
Anything's possible with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
True, but
Tie your camel.
You tie your camel, right? You got to be practical. So we knew we started to pay more attention to, okay, what we were like, all right, where are we going to go that gives you a much easier visa process. Let's just look at that first, because if we got to go through this crap, then it makes no difference. And as soon as we looked at that, Rhonda was right there. Come to find that, then we found out all this other stuff. Come to find out, Rwanda's the safest country in Africa, cleanest country in Africa. The visa process is one of the easiest visa processes worldwide.
Yeah.
And that we just zeroed right in on that. Like, oh, this is great.
Right.
Then it was like, find other things. Oh, snap, they allow you to homeschool.
Right.
You know, what was the other thing?
The cost of living.
Cost of living. The American dollar. It's like,
It stretches.
it big time over here.
Yeah.
You know, so
but there were so many other things about Rwanda, like so many other positives that we were just like, oh my goodness, this is such a great place to, inshallah, raise our children.
right. But when we found out about those other positives, once we realized that Rhonda was meeting all of our checks.
Yeah.
All, you know.
Definitely.
So then then we started looking into it even more, and when we started finding about all those other positive
Yeah,
things.
we started doing more research. And like he said, you know, initially, like, it was just a circle. We made like a complete circle back to this country. It was like Allah was saying to us, like, hey, come back here. This is where you belong.
Right.
I know you're trying to go here. And it was we were constantly trying to find other places, and it was just like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. No, that's not gonna work.
Yep.
Like, and I literally one night was just like, I think during Tahajjud, I just said, oh Allah, lead us to the proper place for our family to be, the one that's we can raise our children, that's, you know, going to you know, be accessible to us, that's going to, you know, be a blessing for our family, you know, and make it easy for us. If it's supposed to be for us, please make it easy for us and allow for us for it to, I guess, you know, like we said, we're able to check off all our boxes. So please, you know, and I felt like he just led us right back to Rwanda.
Yep.
Like, it was like hands down, like, okay, this is the place. And then we start doing just more and more research on Rwanda and what, you know, the president's trying to do here.
Right. He's consistently trying to develop the country.
Right.
And it's happening. It's
everywhere
you can't go any place and not see something being built, some new thing being implemented, instituted. I'm on LinkedIn heavily, and I'm consistently on my feed. They're doing this. They're connecting with these people to do that.
And he definitely,
the country's going to be.
We're going to talk more about this,
right.
But, you know, the green, like, he wants it to be a green country, like all these different wonderful things that we were just like, okay.
Oh, and something else that we realized should be also a priority for us that wasn't initially. Granted, the native language in Rwanda is Kinyarwanda. Believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. But English is taught in school.
Yeah.
So you'll have some locals who either don't speak any English or their English is not good at all.
Right.
But if you go anywhere where there is any type of company that has employers, they all speak English.
Right.
If you go to a restaurant, they're speaking English there.
Yes.
Hospital, they speak English there. The bank speak English there very well. Yeah. You know, so all the places that you need to be to get things done and live your life, you are running into English speaking people. Yes. So that was also another plus.
Yeah.
Even though we are learning
the language. Yes. So, and we'll talk about the language and all these different wonderful things in another video. But that was pretty much how we chose our location.
Our location, yeah.
I know some of you wondered, like, oh, did we go visit and did we stay for a little bit? No,
we didn't. We didn't vacation not a one time.
Not a one time.
This was
This
This
was
was,
trust in Allah.
as
We're
they
gonna
say,
go.
a wing and a prayer. Like
Yeah.
we did as much
We did a lot of
remote research as
we possibly
possible.
could.
And
We
then
utilized
today,
know.
is different than 10, 20 years ago. Everybody's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So you have expats that are telling you this about the country. So that's extreme. That was extremely helpful.
Right.
And utilize that. And then
and we did that with every country.
right.
Every
And then you have
country we researched.
excuse me, search engines have a plethora of information on countries and what how policies and stuff today, much better than it did years ago. So you can do real well. I mean, now don't get me wrong. When we got here, we found out that there were, to our benefit, things that we didn't know or need, and then we also found out that there were some things that we needed that we didn't know we needed. That's
a part of the
just
process.
a part of the process.
And we'll share more of that as well.
Yeah. I think that if you have the time, the money,
and
the
means.
resources, definitely go
visit.
first.
Honestly,
Get a good
I would
feel as much as
recommend
possible. Yeah, definitely.
I would definitely recommend that. That just wasn't the case for us.
That wasn't the case for us. But if you can do that, most certainly, definitely do it. If we could have done it, we definitely would have done it.
The way our lives were set up, it wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, it wasn't really conducive for us.
Conducive for us to do that. We had, we were taking care of family, so that wasn't. We weren't going to be able to leave.
Taking care of family. We have a big family.
Yeah,
we knew we were saving to make a permanent move, so we didn't have money to kind of dedicate to seeing how certain places were. Not to mention the fact that for us, we believe that the climate of where we were at was, time was ticking before it got worse. So we didn't want to play around.
So we did have like an exit plan. And I think for us, we were like, okay, if we can't get to where we want to go, then we'll go here. So we always had a plan. We had a plan A, B, and C.
Right.
No, like I'm serious.
Yeah.
We were like plan A, plan B, plan C. And our plan A was Rwanda, plan B to Mexico, and then our plan C was what was it again?
Oh, our plan C was Albania.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, if you're a U.S. citizen, Albania will allow you to be there for a full year. Without having to go through the whole visa process. You can literally stay there for a year.
You can stay there for a year.
Yeah.
You can find a job. You can literally do all the things that most countries won't allow you to do without having a visa. And then while you're doing that, you can get your visa, try working on getting your visa there. And they have a relatively easy visa process too. Another thing about Albania, you do have to get a lot of things translated, I think.
I think so, yeah.
To the language. But that was like going to be, when we were like, Mexico, they've got some stuff happening. We were like, okay, if, Rwanda doesn't work out, we're going to Albania. Look, our kindred adventures in Albania.
One thing is definitely for sure. We knew that, look, we're leaving the States and we are not going back.
We're not coming back. Inshallah.
We
were like, the one thing about me, I will research and I will plan and figure it out. He knows that much about me. I will have every document, everything prepared to go. I will research to no end. And to try to figure this out. So yes, that was pretty much how we came about our location. Obviously, that's to make a long story short. Because this could be like a 5-hour video if we decided to give you the whole story.
So, like we said, leaving you with takeaway. Definitely do as much research as possible. Find out, have what really means something to you, because everything means different to everybody.
Yeah, make your own checklist.
But what you need to make sure you
That your
want to
family
see,
thrives.
what your family has, whatever is more so important to you.
Right.
Okay. And then once you have that together, find out who provides that, what country provides that best to you. And if you would like a really cool checklist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I do have a checklist. You go to Our Kindred Adventures on Instagram in the link in our bio, and you can get your free relocation checklist right there. So, also,
Makes it a whole lot easier for you.
yes, also, and if you can, just to add to his, if you can, try to visit the country if you can.
If you can.
If it's
It's always better.
plausible for you.
It's always better.
So, other than that, that's it, right?
But we're visiting country, not visiting the country, checklist, no checklist, research, no research, definitely do research.
Mm-hmm.
Above all, make sure that you pray about this prior to, during, and afterwards.
After, yes.
Definitely,
Wrap yourself
definitely,
and a
definitely.
whole lot of prayer, because that's literally what got us here.
We wouldn't be here without it.
Absolutely not.
So,
thank you all. Don't be a stranger, because we're kindred. And we'll see you guys soon.
All right, good people.